modules section, like what modules are, how do we create them, and we have also gone through different identification methods like the properties, anchor, image, index, and parent. So if any of you are new here and if you haven't watched the previous video, so I'll be adding the link to that video in the description below, so you can easily go and watch that once you are done with this one. So in today's session, we will be talking about test cases section. So, but before that, there is one small thing that I missed on like talking about in module section. So let me just quickly cover that up for you. And once that is done, we can go ahead with today's agenda, which is test cases. So it won't take much long. It's a very simple topic. So you guys must have seen when you open your workspace and as soon as you land onto your module section, there is something called standard modules present under your modules folders, the main tree folder, right? So these are nothing but the pre-built test step modules, which is provided by Tricentis itself. So let me just tell you what it is exactly. So as you can see here, standard modules are a set of pre-built test steps for various useful tasks and actions that Tosca has provided on its own. These are pre-built, so you don't need to create those separately. However, you cannot edit them. Those standard modules, you cannot change their usage or their folder name or as such. All these things cannot be performed on this because these are built-in ones. And the standard modules include automation tool modules and technology specific modules. Now, what are these two? Let me just take you through that. Automation tools modules in the sense the basic automation actions that we perform. Like for example, when you create a module, if you want to create a test case from scratch, then you need to open the browser and then provide this link. So in yesterday's class, we haven't seen those, right? We haven't really created any modules for that, like to open your browser, to provide the URL, to open the URL, and then you land into this page, and from here you continue with the username, password, and everything. We just directly saw this. But there's one advantage that we don't need to create them. Uh, we don't have to create them manually. Tosca has provided a few modules by itself, like window operations, buffer operations, expressions, file operations, like you perform different actions on files, like comparing files, if the file is existing or not, those things can be done through this. Folder operations, again, creating folder inside any of your system or deleting them or renaming them, all those actions, different actions can be performed by using these modules. These are inbuilt modules provided by Tricentis itself. And time, unit testing, test data, resource handling, all these are provided by Tricentis. So let me show you how it actually looks, the random ones. Like let's see first basic window operations. So what are different window operations you can see? Like maximize, minimize, closing, caption, label, button, and T-box context menu, T-box send keys, like performing different tasks using your send keys like caps lock on, etc. So all these different operations can be performed directly by using these standard modules provided by Tosca itself. And the other one is technology specific modules. Now these have all the technical things like working on different set of database, Excel operations like creating Excel, providing range data, deleting, opening Excel, everything. Same goes with file operations, HTML, Java, JSON, mail, mobile, PDF operations like comparing to PDF, scanning your PDF and working on those. SAP modules like opening SAP GUI, log on, login functionality, all those things. And then we have, so these are the technical based modules provided. So for example, if you want to open your browser, so there will be a module that will be present in that. I think it should be here only. Open URL, like that it will be shown. Open URL in the sense it will go and quickly open the URL that you provide and the value for that. See, save as. So you can just go through this document. I will share this on the description of this video for you to go through each and everything, and you can also have them uh, and even from your Tosca commander you can quickly have a basic idea of how they normally look like. So let me just open it and show it to you guys. um, it's very easy, and it's really very much handy when you are working on the real-time test cases. These standard modules, you will be using it almost every time. So your basic test case itself will be starting with that standard module. Like if you're willing to open the browser or everything, those can be done through the standard modules. See, once you come here, these are the standard modules we just talked about. And when you open that, you see T-Box automation tool. We just saw these like window operations, buffer operation. Now when you click on this, you can see take screenshot, clipboard, send keys, window operations. I think you can see those things here. 1 second. Okay, so all these things can be found here. Again, buffer, as I told you, create buffer, delete buffer, array, partial buffer, set buffer, these things can be done. Expression evaluation, then file operations, folder operations. These are all related to automation. Okay, then we also have engines. Example like we just saw, technical related, HTML, file, XML, JSON, SAP, as I just told you, login, logon, menu, status bar, all those things. Excel, you can see save, Excel create, Excel macro, delete, update, clear, 1:1 compare. Same for PDF, compare, check PDF, read PDF. Vision AI, Extreme, Oracle, all these are engines. And then we have test data service. This is another topic which is test data management. This we will be learning this in the further sessions. So for these also we have some inbuilt modules like creating a value, adding an item, deleting item, updating item, import, export, all these things can be done. You can simply make use of these modules anywhere on your test cases, and you can continue with your automation process. So this was all about standard modules, and it's very much easy to use and very much handy when you want to use for all these things here. So I hope it was clear for you. Now let's get into the main agenda of today's video, which is test cases. Just a moment. So yeah, so now let's talk about the test case section. So test cases comes after you create modules. So in this session, we will be seeing what is a test case, and what is the structure of the test case, and how do we create a simple test case. So in this video, I will be showing a simple test case example using this website sourcedemo.com. We will be running a test case for a login test case. So username, password, and clicking on login button. This is the task we will be doing today. So before that, let me just quickly take you through the basic understanding of what a test case is in Tosca. So as you can see in simple words, a test case is a set of steps that tells the Tosca what action needs to be performed. So for example, enter username, password, clicking on login. So to basically understand this, so as we saw in the previous video, we created few modules, right, for each element on the application. Like for example, you can see here username, password, and then login button. So you need to perform certain action on this. So when you're scanning a username, you need to input certain value here. So that input is one action. Again, same goes with the password. Then for this login button, you will have to perform a click action on that. So these actions will be done using test cases in the test case section. So the same thing is mentioned here. So see, test cases uses these modules to perform the actions. So basically modules are the elements. As we discussed, the elements are the modules and the actions that we perform on those elements are nothing but test case. So I hope this is clear until here. And next, let us quickly see what the structure of a test case in simple terms looks like. So when you come into your uh, okay, so let's quickly understand the basic structure of test cases. So when you come into Tosca Commander and into the test case section, you can see the first one is the folder. If it is something like this, that means it is a test case folder. And inside folder, you see something like this round one, that is the test case. And inside test case, you see something two arrow marks here. These are the test step. And inside that, whatever value you provide to that test step will be considered as test step value. So the same thing is mentioned over here. You can see test case folder and then comes test case, then test step and test step value. So to understand this, test case folder is something that organizes all the test cases. Test cases is like actual scenario, like login test. For example, when someone asks you like what test case you are working on, so you if you're working for a login test case, you will be mentioning it as a login test case. And test step is the module added inside the test case. So the element that you scan in your module that will be dragged and put in inside your test case, which will be called as test step. And the value that you provide inside that module, inside that test case test step, it is called as test step value. That means the action that needs to be performed. The same thing is given over here. See, test case is the login test. For example, test step is the login module that you scanned, and test step value are the values that you provide for those modules, like admin 123, click. All these are actions, right? So these are the test step values. It's a very simple structure. सुनने में थोड़ा confusing लगेगा, but when you actually work on them, it is pretty simple. So now let's create the first test case, which is login test case using this website. I'll be adding the link as well on the description for you guys to practice this later. And yeah, before going with that, we need to first create modules for our website, right? So we have learned this yesterday, so I'll just quickly create modules and uh, let's just give the name of the website, which is source demo. We'll just give the same name. Okay, let's rename. Okay. Now, if you remember, we will just be scanning the application using our XScan window. So sometimes it takes a little time to load. We'll just have some patience with that. And once this is open, we will click on this application and then click on scan over here. Okay. So as you can see, it has already captured the elements that are present on this application over here. So we will just quickly be selecting those elements, username, password, and then clicking on login button. And then as you can see, all of these are uniquely identified. So we don't need to make any changes here. We will just change the name of this to Swag Labs login page, just for our understanding. And then we will save the module. Once this is done, we are good to close our XScan folder. Okay. So when you go back to your module section, you see your modules have been created. Now coming to test cases, and we will quickly create a new folder over here. You can see this create folder button, and I will just give this the same name for now. So demo login. Okay. Now we will be adding those. We will create a test case inside this. This is the symbol that it will show you the name, create a test case. So we'll just quickly rename as login page. You can give any name that describes what you're exactly doing on that test case. So now we will just be adding this module, dragging. So this is your module, right? You will simply drag it and drop it onto your test case. See, now our Swag Labs login page have been added here. So you can see these two, this is the test step. As we just saw, test step is the module that we use. Now inside this, we will be providing values which are test step values. So values you will be giving on this value section over here. Okay. So what will be our username? The application has a set of username and password provided for us. So we will be using those itself here. So we'll just copying and pasting. Always use a copy paste. Do not try to type anything because it has to be an exact match. If anything is a mistake or not, if it's like a mismatch, then your test cases might fail. So it's a best practice to always use a copy paste. So as soon as you have provided value here, you see the action mode tab has already changed to input. That means you are inputting a value here, right? Same thing will happen with the password. But before that, okay, one second. Let me just copy the password and paste it over here. So as soon as you added your password, it has gone to input, and you can see the password has been hidden. Like it is encrypted with star. That is one feature in Tosca that whenever you're putting uh, any values which has any secrecy or like that. So those things will be automatically changed to star. And how this happens is by the data type. So when you see in your username, it is string. So there are different data types here: string, date, numeric, boolean, password, secret, raw string. So when the name is given as password, so it will automatically take it as a password. So right now I don't want to encrypt anything. So I'll just simply change this to string. And we will have to provide the value again. Once we change the data type here, the provided value will be gone on its own. So now you can see the password. It's not encrypted anymore because this data type is into string. So once you put any password, by default it will be password because your main folder name is password here. So you can always change that, but in real cases, if there is something that you have to encrypt, then you can use that. Next, then comes login. So after providing your username and password, you want to click on login, right? So you will be performing a click operation there. So there are two ways that you can do. Either you can simply put an X over here and it will do the same for you. It will perform a click operation there. Or you can write click over here. If the moment you open your flower bracket, you see different operations are showing up here: alt, apps, backspace, and here you can see click. You can also see double click and all those. When you scroll down, there are so many operations, keyboard operations that you can perform here. But as we want to go in with click, we will be using this. Uh, okay, something. Uh, okay. See, if the syntax is correct, it will show something like this. If the syntax is not correct, if you then it will not go to highlighted one. So make sure your syntax, whatever you provide here, is correct. And again, this is an input. So you're just clicking over there, right? So you have provided all the value for your elements. And then, okay, now we will be quickly seeing how we can run this. Okay, so I hope until here it was clear for you how we create test case folder and how we drag and drop the test step and how we provide value to our test step. Okay, so how we run this, you just need to click on this folder or you can also click on this test case. I'll just click on folder, right click here, and you will have an option to run in ScratchBook. So ScratchBook is another topic that we will be discussing in further sessions, but for now just understand that you can either right click and run on ScratchBook or you can simply press F6. It will do the same. So for that, let me just have this open correctly over here. And so this is the first test case that we will be run in ScratchBook. Now you can see Tosca will automatically go to that application, and during first time it will take some time for it to perform the action. And you can see over here elapsed time and remaining time and what are the test steps that you will be follow. You can, when you hover your mouse, it shows test case remaining. So see, it gave all those values over here. The username, password, and everything were given over here. Okay. So in order to see if uh, one second. Yeah, so in order to see if all the cases have run successfully, you can simply open this ScratchBook. I can just dock it here. Okay. So when you come into this ScratchBook tab over here, you can see all are in green. Okay, so green in the sense it is all passed. So it gave the value for username, password, and then it clicked on login button. So these actions were performed, and you can also see the start time and end time, how much duration it took to perform your task. So your test case has run successfully. In the ScratchBook itself, you can see the result of your test case. Okay. So this was all about the basic understanding of test case and our simple login test case that we have learned today. And let me just go back to the notepad and see we are done with part 3. So simple tips that I would like to share here are test steps are reusable. So whatever test step that you have added here, like the module that you have shared, these are reusable. These can be used in on a other test cases as well. You can drag them and drop and use on different test cases as well. And one more thing, what is that? Same modules can be used in multiple. So we have already seen this in our yesterday session that these modules are also reusable. So you don't have to always scan again and again these modules. Once you did, you can always reuse them. See, when you dragged and dropped them, it is still showing here. It is not uh, like it is still here. Okay, it's not deleted or something like that. So you can again use this onto your other test cases wherever, whenever required. So these are also reusable. And then keep the test cases small and clear. So again, naming conventions and all are very much important. So the more maintainable your test cases look, the more easier for you and your teammates, it will be easy for them to understand, like how we gave source demo login. So whenever someone opens this, they can see, okay, you're working on this application and on a login page. Login page, Swag Labs login page. You can give anything like enter username, password. You can change that and you can give like enter username and password as well. So whichever format your team performs, your team works on, based on that you can change your folder names or test cases names like that. So I hope it was clear for you until here. So we have learned what is a test case, the structure of test case section, how we created our first test case, the login test case, and how we executed. Execution we have done in ScratchBook. So ScratchBook is like something which is for your basic understanding. ScratchBook is something that will help you, like that something that when you're designing your test cases, you can uh, check your test cases if they are working fine or not. You can quickly debug them using ScratchBook. Okay, so in detail, we will learn about Scratchbook in our further sessions. But for now, the basic understanding like this is enough, I believe. So yeah, I hope this was clear for you guys. Just try to practice as many cases as you want to. You can make use of this website, or there are so many other websites available, like testing websites, dummy websites that you can also try using the one which we saw yesterday, right? Demo web shop, this ye wala. Any website you can try, and you can practice using these websites. So try to learn as many as possible with different scenarios. And yeah, in the next session, we will be talking about what action modes are and what data types are. So today we saw test step values, right? So for your understanding, we need to know what input, verify, buffer, all these things, the usage of those. So we will be seeing those in our next video. So if you liked this and if you found this helpful, then please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. And let me know if you have any doubts or questions, or if we have missed out on something, just let me know and we will cover that up in our next video. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye. Take care.